You ever wonder how lucky we are that Earth hasn't been hit by an asteroid recently? Or maybe you think that the recent earthquake in Turkey was the work of extraterrestrials. But whatever the case may be, here is a list of 10 disasters that shouldn't exist. Number 10. The Great Molasses Flood. On January 15, 1919, at approximately 12:30 p.m., a gigantic wave of molasses rushed through the North End section of Boston, Massachusetts, at the corner of Commercial and Lewis Wharf. The tidal wave of molasses was traveling at an estimated speed of over 35 miles per hour and reached heights of between 25 and 30 feet, which was enough to knock down buildings and send people flying. The wave was reportedly caused by the failure of a 91-foot-long steel pipe that was connected to a storage tank at the Orient Heights section of East Boston. Molasses from the tank flowed into the street through the pipe, and when it reached the low-lying north end, it quickly spread out and inundated the area. As the wave of sticky syrup spread through the narrow streets, it knocked down brick walls, overturned horse-drawn carts, crushed barrels, and swept people off their feet. In total, 21 people died as a result of the flood. Many of them were immigrants who lived in the crowded tenement buildings that lined the streets. Their bodies were found several blocks away from where they had been standing when the molasses wave hit. It took several hours to clear the molasses from the streets and even longer to clean up the mess. This disaster not only caught people off guard, but also left a lasting impact on the community. 9. Krakatoa. Located in Indonesia, Krakatoa is a volcano that should not exist because it exploded so many times that it could destroy the entire planet. It has an infamous history that dates back hundreds of years. In 1883, the volcano erupted with such force that the sound was heard over 2,000 miles away in Australia. The explosion was so powerful that it generated a tsunami that killed more than 36,000 people in Indonesia and around the Sunda Strait. But somehow this monster is still standing and rumbling. So what makes Krakatoa so special? For one thing, it's a stratovolcano, which means that it's made up of layers of ash and lava. This makes it a very tall and very dangerous volcano, but it's also a very beautiful volcano. The layers of ash and lava create a symmetrical cone shape that is very photogenic. But don't let its beauty fool you. Krakatoa is one of the most active volcanoes in the world, and its eruptions are not only frequent, but also very violent. In fact, Krakatoa is responsible for some of the deadliest volcanic eruptions in history. The eruption in 1883 is one of the worst, but there have been other eruptions that have also been very destructive. One of the most recent eruptions occurred in 2004, and it was so powerful that it caused a tsunami that killed more than 100 people. But despite all this, Krakatoa is still there and continues to rumble ominously. 8. The Genesis Flood. One of the most cataclysmic events in human history is the Great Flood of 2004, also known as the Indian Ocean Tsunami. This natural disaster struck on December 26, 2004, when a magnitude 9.1 earthquake occurred off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia. The earthquake triggered a series of massive tsunami waves that spread across the Indian Ocean, hitting 14 countries in total and causing widespread devastation. The countries affected included Indonesia, Sri Lanka, India, Thailand, Malaysia, the Maldives, Singapore, Somalia, Kenya, Tanzania, Seychelles, Australia, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. It is estimated that over 230,000 people lost their lives due to the tsunami. The economic damage was also substantial, with billions of dollars in infrastructure destroyed. The impact of the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami was felt around the world, prompting a global response to provide aid and assistance to the affected countries. The disaster highlighted the need for early warning systems and international cooperation in the face of natural disasters. It also led to the creation of the Global Earthquake Model, a non-profit organization dedicated to improving tsunami forecasting and warning systems worldwide. The survivors of the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami have shown incredible resilience in the face of tragedy. They have rebuilt their lives and communities and continue to honor the memory of those who were lost. The lessons learned from this disaster continue to shape disaster preparedness and response efforts around the world. 7. The Chelyabinsk meteor. On February 2013, the Chelyabinsk region of Russia experienced a spectacular meteor event that was later dubbed the Chelyabinsk meteor. The event occurred when a 20-meter-wide meteor entered the atmosphere and exploded over the city of Chelyabinsk with a force of approximately 300 kilotons of TNT. The explosion was so powerful that it caused significant damage to buildings and shattered windows across the city. More than 1,000 people were injured from flying glass and thousands more were left without homes due to the destruction. The Chelyabinsk meteor was the largest meteor to survive its journey through the atmosphere since the Tunguska event of 1908. Prior to this event, the last known meteor to explode over a populated area was in 1946, when a meteor airburst occurred over Almaty in Kazakhstan, then part of the Soviet Union. While no one was killed in the event, 80 people were injured from flying debris. The Chelyabinsk meteor was captured on dashcam video by a motorist and the footage quickly went viral online. Amateur astronomers also captured images of the bright fireball that lit up the sky over Chelyabinsk. Following the event, NASA and other space agencies tracked the meteor's fragments to the surface of the Earth. A team of Russian scientists also conducted a field expedition to search for meteorites and study the event. As a result of the Chelyabinsk meteor, there have been calls for greater monitoring of near-Earth objects, or Nyos. Nyos are asteroids and comets whose orbits take them close to Earth. According to NASA, there are an estimated 10,000 Nyos with the potential to cause significant damage if they were to collide with Earth. While the risk of a large meteor event is low, it is not impossible. The Chelyabinsk meteor serves as a reminder of the potential hazards posed by near-Earth objects and the importance of continued monitoring and research in this field. No. 6. The Bola cyclone. On November 13, 1970, one of the most catastrophic natural disasters in recorded history struck the Bay of Bengal, claiming the lives of up to 500,000 people. The Bola cyclone was a tropical cyclone that wreaked havoc on the eastern part of India and then East Pakistan, now Bangladesh. The storm surge associated with the cyclone caused massive flooding and an estimated 300,000 to 500,000 people perished due to drowning and injuries sustained during the disaster. The Bola cyclone was particularly devastating due to a number of factors. First, it occurred during the night, which limited the ability of residents to prepare or evacuate. Second, the cyclone struck during high tide, causing a massive storm surge that inundated coastal areas. Third, the Bay of Bengal is a funnel-shaped body of water that funnels wind into a smaller space, increasing its speed and intensity. This made the cyclone even more powerful as it approached the coast. Fourth, the dense population in the Ganges Delta region, which is one of the most densely populated areas in the world, meant that a large number of people were at risk from the cyclone. Finally, the lack of warning and communication systems at the time meant that many people were caught off guard by the storm. The Bola cyclone remains one of the deadliest natural disasters in history and serves as a reminder of the importance of early warning systems and disaster preparedness. Lessons learned from this tragedy have helped improve our ability to forecast and prepare for future cyclones, potentially saving countless lives. Number 5. The Lituya Bay Mega Tsunami. On July 9, 1958, a massive landslide occurred in Lituya Bay, Alaska, triggering a gigantic tsunami wave that remains the largest ever recorded in human history. The landslide, which was estimated to be over 300 million cubic yards of rock and earth, slid down the side of a mountain and plunged into the bay, creating a towering wall of water that was over 1,700 feet high. This massive wave, known as a mega tsunami, traveled across the bay at a speed of approximately 60 miles per hour, inundating the shoreline and causing widespread damage. The Lituya Bay Mega Tsunami was the result of a combination of factors. The landslide that triggered the wave was likely caused by a 7.3 magnitude earthquake that occurred in the area a few days prior. The earthquake loosened the soil and rock on the mountainside, making it unstable land susceptible to a landslide. The steep-sided fjord or inlet also contributed to the wave size, as the water had nowhere to go but up once the landslide hit the water. The wave caused widespread destruction along the shoreline, inundating the beaches and destroying any structures that were in its path. Fortunately, there were no casualties, as the area was uninhabited at the time. However, the Lituya Bay Mega Tsunami serves as a reminder of the truly massive forces of nature that exist and the potential for disaster that they pose. Number 4. Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Katrina was one of the most devastating natural disasters in U.S. history The Category 5 storm caused catastrophic damage in the Gulf Coast region, particularly in New Orleans, Louisiana. It is considered to be the costliest U.S. disaster in history, causing an estimated $125 billion in damages. Katrina made landfall in late August of 2005 after gaining strength from the remnants of a tropical storm that had formed in the western Caribbean Sea. It is remembered for its catastrophic impact on New Orleans, where a combination of factors, including faulty levees, heavy rainfall, and a failure of the city's pumps led to widespread flooding. The storm surge from the Gulf of Mexico also played a significant role in exacerbating the flooding. The disaster resulted in at least 1,800 deaths and caused extensive damage to homes, businesses, and infrastructure. In the aftermath of the disaster, many residents were displaced and had to leave the region, while others faced significant challenges in rebuilding their lives. The federal government's response to the disaster was widely criticized as slow and inadequate, leading to calls for reform and increased funding for disaster preparedness and response. Since the disaster, many efforts have been made to strengthen the levees in New Orleans and improve the city's flood protection system. Additionally, the National Hurricane Center has improved its forecasting capabilities, and public officials have worked to develop more effective evacuation plans. Despite the progress that has been made, Hurricane Katrina remains a stark reminder of the devastating impact that natural disasters can have and the importance of being prepared. Number 3. The RLC water. The RLC catastrophe refers to the dramatic shrinking and salinization of the RLC, a saltwater lake in Uzbekistan. The sea, which was once the fourth largest in the world, has shrunk by 50% since the 1960s, and its salinity levels have increased dramatically. The cause of the disaster is complex and has been attributed to a number of factors. One of the primary factors is the diversion of water from the sea for irrigation purposes. The Soviet Union used the water from the RLC to water cotton fields and food crops in Uzbekistan, which led to a significant reduction in the sea's water levels. Another contributing factor is climate change, which has led to higher rates of evaporation and lower levels of precipitation in the region. This has exacerbated the effects of water diversion and led to the sea's further shrinkage. The consequences of the RLC disaster are far-reaching. The shrinking of the sea has led to soil erosion, desertification, and the displacement of local wildlife. The increased salinity levels have also made it difficult for native plants and animals to survive and have turned the sea into a desert wasteland. Number 2. Mount Vesuvius. The eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD is one of the most well-known natural disasters in history. The eruption buried the Roman city of Pompeii and the nearby town of Herculaneum under volcanic ash and pumice, killing an estimated 2,000 people. The eruption was so powerful that it was visible from other parts of the Roman Empire. The eruption of Mount Vesuvius had a profound impact on the Roman Empire and on history as a whole. The destruction of Pompeii and Herculaneum was so complete that it preserved a snapshot of life in the Roman Empire. The discovery of these cities in the 18th century sparked a renewed interest in classical antiquity and helped to inspire the Renaissance. In the centuries since the eruption, Mount Vesuvius has continued to be an active volcano. It is considered to be one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world and is closely monitored by scientists. The threat posed by Vesuvius is a constant reminder of the destructive power of nature and the vulnerability of human civilization. Number 1. The Tangshan earthquake. The Tangshan earthquake was one of the deadliest earthquakes in recorded history, occurring on July 28, 1976, in Tangshan, China. With an estimated magnitude of 7.5 to 8.2 on the Richter scale, the earthquake caused widespread devastation, leaving an estimated 240,000 to 655,000 people dead or missing. The disaster was the result of a complex interplay of geological factors. The Tangshan earthquake occurred in an area that is prone to seismic activity. The region is located along the edge of the Pacific Ring of Fire, an area that is home to a significant number of volcanoes and fault lines. The earthquake was caused by the sudden release of energy in the form of seismic waves along a fault line that runs through the region. The energy from the earthquake caused the ground to shake violently, leading to the collapse of buildings and other structures. The intensity of the earthquake was so great that it caused widespread damage across an area of approximately 70,000 square kilometers. Entire cities were leveled and many towns and villages were completely destroyed. The earthquake also triggered a number of landslides and other secondary disasters, which contributed to the overall death toll. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe for more videos. See you next time.